Hey guys, so Reverie 450m is coming tomorrow, and are you ready for it? So in this video, I will go through roughly or briefly each of the stages, and I will show you some of the team that is used to complete it. Then I will show you a combination of those teams that is used to clear 450m without repeating, right? So in that situation, which means if you do have that set of units, you can form this team and you can use them against these stages, right? So I hope this will give you a brief idea on getting into 450 and clear the stages. However, this is not the full guide. I will do the guide as I did previously for each of the stages, starting from 410, 420, 430, 440, and then for all 4 stages in 450. So I will release them maybe 3 or 4 guides per day. So for 450m-1, this fight, you can see that there's the main boss there in a mirror. So there is also 3 minions there. At the start of the fight, this boss, she will hide in the mirror and you will deal pretty much low damage against it unless you kill all the minions. Then the boss will reappear and then you kill it. There is 3 phases to this fight, and the last phase there's Patodia there and she hit like a truck. So you do need a very good sustain in order to tank it. Apart from that, this boss is also intelligence, which means Blood Tie team, Nautica, who is Spirit, can easily clear this fight. Apart from that, Dynamo can as well. So from the database that are extracted in-game, the most used team against it is actually Dynamo. And then is Blood Tie. And we also have Assassin Follow-up Attack, but they use Keeperina here as the sustain, right? But if you have used Impromptu elsewhere, you may not have Keeperina. Anyway, for my initial clear, I used the Blood Tie team. And for your information, if the Blood Tie team here you don't have Robuska, it's alright. You can use Fatutu, or you can even use Medicine Pocket. For 450m-2, you have to fight against this tier, and it has 2 life. So after you deplete it, it will then refresh again and you have to kill it again. The change is that currently in the picture you see there is 1 enemy in front of it. That during the second phase it will remain there, but it will add 1 more. And the thing here is that if you look at the enemy, there is this special buff on it. So if you remember Raid, when you're fighting against a deer, there's always this number and you have to hit a certain range, then it will either do damage to itself or it will do something. It's the same for this one. If you can hit within that range, it will damage itself. So technically this stage, even if you don't bring your heavy attacker, as long you play around the mechanics of this stage, you will be able to defeat the enemy. So all you need to do is ensure that you always hit within that range and it will damage itself. The minion in front of it, that enemy, you see that it has 2 stars. If you hit it with anything that is rank 2 and above, then it will instantly die. Alright? Yeah, and based on the rank incantation, you will inflict or you will increase the special incantation by a different number. Like, for example, rank 1 is 1, then rank 2, it will increase by 2. But I'm not sure the exact number. I will do that in my actual guide. But yeah, this is briefly to explain to you how is the stage like. So here, the most common team that is used is of course the rank up team. You can easily clear it with Marcus. So, no surprise there, easily. And let's say if you do not have Marcus, a lot of people also use Liang Yue, because Liang Yue has rank up and Liang Yue does follow attack. One thing with this boss is that if you don't attack it, then you will get petrified or you will receive some form of damage. I can't remember exactly, but it's not good. You do want to attack it, right? So having follow-up units is very useful. So Liang Yue is actually really good because it has rank up, it has follow-up attack. All right. Another team you can use here is also the impromptu team. The third one that we have here is actually the poison team. I personally have not tried the poison team in this stage, but when I was looking at these teams that is used to defeat it, yeah, the poison team is there. But here, one thing is that there is Hisabeth. Hisabeth, because of his being a rank attack, you can easily manipulate that the stacks of that special buff on the enemy, and you also can easily kill the minions, which then makes the fight rather easy. And there is also a cheese static where you can use white rum, and there is also lost source and soda bee. Apologies, I do not know exactly how this works because I haven't tried it out. But yeah, if you are really, a new player and you are low of resources or you don't have that much roster to begin with, you can try this out. Okay? So this is for 400 meter dash 2. To me, this stage is more of a puzzle. For 400 meter dash 3, so the boss start off with that tiny little thing, but then it once you bring it down to a certain level of its HP, it will then transform. But each round, if you don't bring it down to that level, it will heal to max HP, and each time it does that, it will get flinch. It will be inflicted by a bunch of flinch. I think it's like 20 stacks. So flinch will make it so that the boss will receive more damage, right? So if you keep repeating it, you will eventually have 100, 200, and possibly even 300 stack of flinch. Then you will be hitting the boss so hard that you can easily clear the final phase. If you don't do that, by the time you reach the final phase, you may not have the damage to defeat it, and it's gonna hit really hard. It's gonna hit harder and harder and harder as it progresses. So you got to play around that mechanics. You got to try to get flinch on the enemy, right? Once you build up a very good flinch, then you go all out and you defeat it. And one more thing to watch out for in this fight is that this boss changes afflatus depending on what incantation we use. So you got to really plan it out and bring the characters that is able to change it to the afflatus that benefits you, right? So that you really got to read carefully and bring the right unit and do the right attack. And because of the nature of this fight, that you kind of like want to charge up, trying to do not that much damage because you don't want to defeat it. You want it to just go below that HP threshold so that it will fully heal and get flinch, right? So you do want to spend some turns trying to do that before you go all out. So in that case, teams like Blood Tie and Dynamo really fit into this entire setup. Because like Dynamo, you need some turn to charge the field. Once you charge the field, then you kill it. Blood Tie as well, you take some turn to charge the Blood Tie. Once you have enough, you kill it. Another team here, the third most used team after Blood Tie and Dynamo is Assassins, right? You can use the Assassin teams here. If you look into the picture there is, I believe, there is the follow-up attack Assassins, there is the ultimate Assassins, there's also the poison Assassins. So choose whichever you want. They will be able to clear it. And lastly, for 400 meter dash 4, yes, we are fighting Ulrich, and this fight is insane. It's really quite difficult because if you're not careful, it hits really hard, and if you let it use his ultimate, that is it. Right, you are most likely gonna die, except if you're using Blood Tie. With all the damage reduction, you might survive, but if you're using any other team, you will die to its ultimate. So what is this fight about is that if you look at Ulrich, behind it there's 4 stars. That star changes color depending on what incantation you use. If you use attack, it turns to red. If you use debuff, it turns purple. If you use ultimate, it turns gray, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what we want. Because if it has a lot of that color, like red, it's gonna hit harder. The buff is gonna inflict flinch on us, and then we'll receive more damage over time. So if you keep doing that, eventually you will just die. So this fight is revolving around spamming ultimates. And the best thing is that Auric is not immune to seal. So you technically can seal him and he will never be able to do ultimate. So the most used team here is Beacon Bloom. Get to Beacon Bloom's ultimate and then seal it. It's gonna seal him for like 3 rounds. So by the time he's gonna unseal itself, then you just get Beacon Bloom's ultimate again and then seal it again. So yeah, with that you can easily clear the fight. And all of us should have Beacon Bloom. Even if you don't get her Euphoria, it's fine, you still can seal it, but do bring another character that at least can do damage on it, because its HP is pretty high. If you are just going to seal it, but you're not able to do damage against it, you are not going to clear the fight as well. The enemy is Plan, so Beast has bonus Afflatus, which is why a lot of people is using Anjo Nala here. And also Anjo Nala's Captivate does work against this boss as well. Okay, so this is the team, Beacon Bloom. There is also a team without Beacon Bloom, but here they are using Anjo Nala. And if you're doing this, you got to be really careful to make sure to captivate the enemy all the time. And another team here that you can use without Beacon Bloom is Blood Tie, right? So you may want to try this fight first. If you can clear it with Beacon Bloom, that's great. If you can't clear it, then you might need to plan carefully what are all the other teams that you use in the other stages. But here I'm going to give you some examples. So these are the set of teams that you can use without reputation to clear 450 meter. So you can get like Blood Tie against 450 meter -1, and then 450 meter -2, definitely you go for the rank up team. Then -3, you can use the Dynamo team, and 450 meter -4, you use Beacon Bloom to cheese the fight. 450 meter -1 and -3, you can interswap it, right? If you want to use Dynamo in the other team, Blood Tie in that one, it doesn't matter, it will work. Then there is also this setup where you use the Dynamo team for 450 meter -1, and then you use Impromptu for 450 meter -2, because I do know a lot of people have Impromptu, so you want to use them somewhere, you can use it on 400 meter -2. But for your information, I did use Impromptu team to clear 450 meter -3 the first time when I did 450 meters. But it was pretty difficult. And in the end, after I tried like Dynamo team there, Blood Tie team there, Assassin team there, it was much easier. Anyway, here is 450 meter -3, so you just pick one of the Assassins setup, and then you use it against this fight. And you can put your Blood Tie team instead on 450 meter -4. This is if you have not built Blood Tie and you do not have Anjo Nala, because a lot of you probably may not. Sorry, some of you may not have Anjo Nala, especially if you joined the game after Anjo Nala's banner, because Anjo Nala is a limited unit. So at this point, apart from the previous time the banner was available, there is no way to get her again. Unless you want to wait for her, because she will be coming back in 3.2. And lastly, another set here is that you can use again Dynamo for the first one, and then you can cheese 450 meter -2 with White Rum, and then you can use Blood Tie on 400 meter -3, and then 400 meter -4. I put Anjo Nala's team there, but again you can use Beacon Bloom. Then at least this setup I would say is the cheapest, because you cheese 2 fight, one using White Rum and then the other one using Beacon Bloom, which both are relatively character that we already have. So it's not like you need to pull for it. So what you need to invest in is actually just a Dynamo team and a Blood Tie team, and you are able to complete 450 meters. Alright, anyway, this video is just meant as the introductory to my 450-meter guide. So at least this give you some idea on how things will be. But again, what I'm gonna do is that for each fight, I'm gonna try 3 or 4 different team comp. I will explain to you detailedly about the mechanics and what does the character or the team that we bring contributes to counter that mechanic. Alright, so I will do that, then I will show you the gameplay or the showcase for 3 to different teams. So that's all for this video. So thank you very much for watching and hope you are ready for 450 meter Reverie.